Royal moment. Princess Leonor explores Valdesoto after the Asturias Awards crown sparkles. The Asturias Awards are over. The applause still echoes in the Royal Theatre. The cameras are packed away. But one young royal isn't done yet. Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, quietly steps into a world far away from the red carpets. She's not in a palace tonight. She's in a village, a living, breathing corner of Asturias called Valdesoto. And what she does next, no one saw coming. The princess who dazzled Spain hours earlier, now walks among locals, laughing, listening, and discovering what home truly means. Because after the ceremonies fade, this is where her heart truly lives. It's the morning after the grand night of the Princess of Asturias Awards. The royal convoy had been expected to return directly to Oviedo, but instead, Leonor made an unexpected detour. Valdesoto, a small Asturian village known for its stone paths, chestnut trees, and humble warmth. A place where every corner breathes heritage. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of wood smoke and wet grass. Villagers were still talking about her speech from the night before, the one where her voice trembled slightly, where emotion and duty danced in every syllable. But none of them imagined she would come here, quietly, without fanfare. Leonor stepped out in a casual cream sweater, hair tied loosely, her security discreet but distant. She wanted space, to breathe, to feel, to walk where her ancestors once did. She wasn't here as the crown princess of Spain. She was simply Leonor, daughter, sister, young woman. And this, right here, was her quiet rebellion. Locals gathered slowly as word spread. Children peeked from windows. An old woman crossed herself, whispering, "She looks just like her mother." Leonor smiled softly, bowing her head with humility. No palace guards. No press. Just people. Just stories. The first stop, a family-run bakery, doors wide open, the smell of fresh bread inviting her inside. The owner, a woman in her 60s named Carmen, offered her a small loaf. "It's made from my grandmother's recipe," she said shyly. Leonor didn't hesitate. She took a piece, bit into it, and closed her eyes. "It tastes like Asturias," she whispered. The baker laughed. "That's because it is Asturias." Moments like this weren't planned. They weren't rehearsed. They were real, deeply human, deeply felt. The young princess leaned in, listening to Carmen's stories about the hard winters, the fading traditions, the pride of being Asturian. And in that small conversation, something shifted. Because beneath the crown, Leonor has always carried one secret dream, to remain connected to the land that shaped her. To never lose touch with the soil, the people, the music that runs through Asturias like a heartbeat. She continued walking, past the narrow bridge, past the river that glistened like silver. She stopped to pet a dog by the roadside. The dog's tail wagged wildly, unaware of royal titles. A group of teenagers asked for a photo, their voices trembling with excitement. Leonor laughed and said yes. But before posing, she asked, "What do you love most about living here?" They looked at each other, unsure. Finally, one girl said, "It's peaceful. Nobody judges you. You can be yourself." Leonor nodded slowly. "That's what I'm learning to do," she said softly. There it was again, the honesty that Spain has come to love. The quiet strength that doesn't need to shout. As she moved toward the village square, the church bells rang. Noon. Leonor stood still for a moment, hands clasped. In that instant, it wasn't just about royalty, it was about belonging. She knew that leadership isn't about distance, it's about presence. The visit continued. Locals brought small gifts. Flowers, postcards, handmade scarves. Each one a token of affection, a symbol of pride. A farmer handed her a basket of apples, his weathered face glowing. "For you, Your Highness. From our trees to your table." She smiled, "Then I'll share them with my sister." The mention of Infanta Sofía sparked curiosity. People asked softly, "Will she visit too?" Leonor smiled again, "I hope so. She loves this place too." It's in moments like this that Spain sees the true future of its monarchy, not in the gold of the palace, but in the mud and meadows of Asturias. A journalist once wrote that Leonor was born to serve, but raised to feel. And here, surrounded by the scent of cider and the sound of distant guitars, that sentiment becomes tangible. As the sun dipped lower, the princess visited the local school. Children had drawn pictures of her speech from the night before. Crayons had turned her words into color, hearts, flags, and crowns. One little boy held up his drawing, Leonor standing on a stage, a bright star above her head. "That's you," he said. "Because you're the light." Leonor knelt beside him, her voice gentle. "The light belongs to everyone," she said. "It's our job to keep it shining together." That moment, simple and pure, would become one of the most replayed clips in royal documentaries years later. But for now, it was just a shared truth between a child and a future queen. Evening settled softly over Valdesoto. The orange light kissed the rooftops. Leonor paused by the edge of the village, overlooking the valley below. It was quiet, only the hum of cicadas and the faraway sound of laughter. She exhaled, shoulders relaxed. For the first time in months, she wasn't performing. She was being. And maybe that's the secret of royalty in the modern world. Not the spectacle, not the titles, but the authenticity to be real, even when everyone expects perfection. Leonor knows this better than anyone. Her teenage years were shaped under global scrutiny. Every step analyzed, every gesture compared. But in Valdesoto, she reclaimed her narrative. Here, she wasn't the symbol. She was the soul. Before leaving, she visited a local chapel. Inside, she lit a small candle, a private prayer, unspoken but felt. The soft glow reflected on her face, and witnesses said they saw tears in her eyes. She whispered something no one heard, perhaps gratitude, perhaps hope. As she stepped out, an old man approached her. "You remind me of your great-grandmother," he said. She had the same calm eyes. Leonor smiled, touched. "Thank you," she replied. "I carry them with me." The convoy started its quiet journey back toward Oviedo, but something profound lingered in the air. The people of Valdesoto waved as the cars disappeared into the dusk. Not a wave of farewell, but of pride. Their village had been seen, not by a tourist, but by a future queen who understood. That night, as Leonor returned to her royal residence, she sat by her window, looking out at the Asturian sky. Stars glimmered above the mountains, the same stars her ancestors once watched. She thought of her parents, King Felipe and Queen Letizia. Of their guidance, their expectations, their love. She thought of her sister Sofía, her laughter echoing through palace halls. And she thought of the people she met that day, the baker, the farmer, the children. Her heart was full, her purpose, clearer than ever. To bridge tradition and tomorrow. To lead not just with words, but with empathy. The Asturias Awards may have celebrated excellence, but Valdesoto celebrated connection. As dawn approached, she wrote in her personal journal, a habit she's kept since her early teens. Today, she wrote, "I remembered what truly matters. It's not the applause. It's the touch of a hand. The warmth of a smile, the truth of a story shared. Asturias is not just my title. It's my heart." Those words, never meant for the public, reveal everything about who Leonor is becoming, a modern royal shaped by humility, courage, and love. And perhaps that's why Spain adores her. Because beyond the glamour and formality, she represents hope. Hope that leadership can be human. That tradition can evolve. That royalty can still have a beating heart. Valdesoto became more than a village that day. It became a symbol of connection between the crown and the people, between history and the present, between duty and destiny. And for Leonor, it became a reminder that even when the world crowns her queen, her soul will always belong here, among the valleys, the laughter, and the quiet strength of Asturias. As the royal anthem plays softly in the background of memory, her voice still lingers. Calm, confident, compassionate. The future, she once said, is not given. It's built, together. And on that quiet day in Valdesoto, she began building it, one smile, one step, one heartbeat at a time. Because the truest royal moments aren't scripted. They're lived. And this was one of them.